Big show tonight, everybody. Erin Gibson from Infomania, terrific actress, stand-up comic, very funny, and drinks with Alie in Georgia. You won't believe it. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Sunny days, not so much. My God, I didn't realize you were going to come back to me so quickly. You know what? I was just about to brush my teeth and go to the bathroom. I think I'll do it sitting in front of the camera. No, I'm very happy to see you guys. We have a great show tonight. But I have to tell you, I don't know if this ever happened to you. I brushed my teeth earlier today. You know, I was trying to get my daughter to school, and I was running late. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I was just running late, and I took my toothbrush, and I dipped it in a foreign substance. I do not know what that substance was, and I still really don't. And yet it leaves a lingering taste in my mouth. I'm not going to say it's a bad taste. I'm just going to say it's a foreign taste. I should tell you, let's see, I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff brewing. The first thing is that with me, in my life, I don't know if you feel this, but with me, it's always what I don't say that sort of holds me back. And I realize that I don't say a lot of things. It's like the carpet doesn't match the, well, you know what I'm saying. Like whatever it is, I keep it inside. You know, like Melissa Manchester said many years ago, don't cry out loud, just keep it inside. I thought she was talking to me. Anyway, the thing about it is I'm going to start saying what I don't say. I'm approaching life that way because it's very hard to be a human being in media today. Because time constraints, you have to be quick, you have to be, and there's celebrities, and you don't see many human beings. Look at Dr. Phil. You don't see any human beings really. So I'm going to try to be that by saying the things that I don't say. And number one, the thing that I don't say most often is, how the hell am I going to pay for my health insurance? I will never work again in this town. I'm petrified. I have a family now. It's not just me. And that's one thing that I think. The other thing I think when I have a parking ticket, I think I'm going to have to move back in with my parents. I don't think I have to pay the parking ticket. I think I just got to move home. The funny thing is, my parents have been dead for nearly 20 years. They'd be in their hundreds now. I'm 80. Anyway, so it's stuff like that I don't say. I didn't say to my Rabbi Shapiro in 5th grade when he said to me, Eddie, if you don't cut it out, I'm going to bash your head against the wall. I didn't say to him, that's not appropriate. And I'll hold for that. Okay, good. Anyway, those kind of things. I'm going to explore that a little bit more. I also started to meditate, which is amazing for, you know, somebody's in their head all the time to meditate. It's a great thing. And what the meditators say is they say, we may have preferences in life, but nothing can make us or break us. We may have preferences in life, but nothing can make us or break us. Unfortunately, my phone had been ringing at the time, so all I heard, make or break us. I haven't got the other part of it yet. So welcome to the show. It's a big show. And tonight, you're going to see the regulars. They're regular here. They're supremely talented, extremely creative, very bright, brilliant. Alie Ward and Georgia Hardstark. Drinks with Alie in Georgia is their show on Food 2. They're going to be here. They're going to be making a drink. I'm going to get drunk, and all hell's going to break loose. And look at this. I'm going to do a lot of this and a little bit of that. All right, so they're going to be here, and then coming up almost immediately is a very funny woman who is on a show called Infomania. I think it's Thursday nights at 9 on Current TV. I'm not sure about it. We'll find out for sure, but it's Current TV, I know, and it's Infomania. Very funny people on that show. Satirical news program. And she is really funny. She's also been on Community and Parks and Rec, which I'll talk to her about. Erin Gibson is here. Could the intro be any longer? I did a nice job with that. And I want you to take a look. As a matter of fact, we have a clip of Erin at work. Take a look at that, and then we'll come back.
Other allegations in the case, some local managers held business meetings at Hooters restaurants, and women were referred to as Little Janie Q's by some senior management.
Little Janie Q? Whoa! Nice 1920s lady burn, Walmart! You see, lots of things need to happen before women are treated equally in the workplace. A gay Martian president, cars that run on ice cream, credit card pants. And these 6 women have to convince the Supreme Court that they have the right to band together to fight discrimination at Walmart, which has Walmart all...
All right, that's Erin Gibson from Infomania. She joins us now. Erin?
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I never know what to do at that moment because there's a transitional thing that happens. It's like I just told them that you were here. I know you're here.
Yeah.
And now I have got to come over.
I'm very used to being ignored. I'm a lady, so...
you get right into it?
Yeah,
you get right into it,
right into it.
Fantastic, fantastic. I actually was gonna ask you about that. It's such a cliche, but it's probably a cliche because it's true. It's very hard to. You have to overcome something being a woman in comedy.
Well, it's getting better. And by the way, I have to applaud you. You have 3 funny females on your show tonight.
It's the first. We've had nothing.
Never happened.
We've had nothing
before.
but unfunny Jewish men, including myself. But now we're gonna expand our horizons.
Well, there's not a lot of women who go into comedy. There's a lot more now, which is fantastic. But it's hard because you're trying to write jokes from a women's perspective and put that stuff into scripts and convince white guys that it's funny. There's a lot of white guys at comedy, let's be honest. Convince them that it's funny, but they don't have the same life experience as you do.
Sure.
So there's no way. There's just at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to say, look, I know this will work. I know ladies will think this is funny. You may not think it's funny, but I promise you it'll work. You have to have faith.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky that I get to do that a lot with my pieces on Infomania because I only cover women's issues. And at the end of the day, I always have that kind of card in my pocket. It's not an excuse to get away with bad jokes, but I don't come from a place where I am like, I try not to get angry at guys for not understanding what I'm saying, and just come at it more of like they don't see it that way.
Well, what I love about you, we were talking about this before, is there's a lot of people. The style now is to be very mean. Mm-hmm. It's not to be satirical as much. I mean, Colbert does it amazing, but it's not. It's you got to be. Being edgy means being cutting and mean, but it's not satirical. It's satirical when your behavior is opposite that. That's when it becomes like when you're doing it with a big smile, and that's what I love about watching you on that show.
Well, I try to. My process is it's like a 3-step process. I find a new story that makes me upset. Then I write really mean jokes, and then I go back and I say, how can I make these palatable? Like I do have to go to that place. Yeah. But I don't think it's appropriate for me personally to say those things.
But there's an extra step. The extra step is, now what can I do to make it palatable? Mm-hmm. That step is not used often in television, I don't think. That's a whole, it's just, I've got something, it makes me mad, here we go.
It feels, on some level, it feels more raw to say the mean thing and to use your power of the airwaves or the internet or whatever to get at somebody. But ultimately, it does nothing. And it just makes people not want to listen to you. Well, yeah, I think
it distances you, and it's like if Stephen Colbert came out during the White House press dinner with George Bush sitting 4 feet from him, and he came out as Stephen Colbert, not as a character, but he just said, "I just hate this man. Can you believe what he's doing?" If he delivered it and he wasn't the character, it has nothing. It's not going to land. It just has no. It's not satirical.
Well, also it hurts more when you say. What I don't think people understand is it actually hurts more when you get a lot of people on your side for doing something satirical than it. I mean, especially being a woman, it's super easy to just instantly people to write you off if you're that angry. They're like, "Oh, she's just a bitch." Like it's something that I'm super aware of. Mm-hmm. So I can't speak for guys, but like I don't want to put myself out there like that because I don't want people to write me off, because I think I do have something interesting to say and I can get it across in that way. I mean, same with Stephen Colbert. Like if he doesn't do it in that way, then people could just be like, oh, he's just an angry asshole.
Right. Right.
Doesn't have a point. Like it's so easy to write
and he's
people
doing
off.
a character, but he believes, what he's doing is he believes in America, and this is why. He's, you know, I love the guy. There's another comic friend, David Feldman. He used to do this thing where he says you can't be a real comedian unless you can really bomb in front of an. Excuse me. Should never have had that grape
Hell's
soda.
Angels, outside.
The Hell's Angels are actually their home base is actually here in the studio.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, and there they go. They're on their way to a gang fight in.
I think they're going to Dodger Stadium.
They are. They're on the way to Dodger Stadium. I hear security is light this evening. Anyway, it's you know, it's you bomb in front of the audience and then you bring them back. You bring them back around. So you used to do this show with, you know, Ronald Reagan, the worst president this country has ever had. It's horrible, and the audience was very Republican, and they were boo, and then he says, let them boo, because they live in a country where we have freedom of speech. Yay! You know,
yeah.
It's like stuff like that. Anyway.
Well, Colbert is masterful at it, and he, I admire him. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about him, and everyone on Comedy Central, they're doing a magnificent thing right now.
That's fantastic. That's really where you go to get your news. That and Infomania. Now so you have this ensemble of people on Infomania, and what is there a mandate? Is there this is the kind of story we do, but this is the kind of story we won't do?
Well, everyone's is segmented. So Sergio does music, so he covers music. I cover women's issues. Brian Safi covers gay issues. Ben Hoffman is our resident curmudgeon, angry guy. He doesn't really specialize as more as his role is emotional.
Sure.
And then Brett's kind of the glue, and he also covers viral videos, so like more of the internet stuff. But we try to cover anything as long as it's funny and it's relevant and newsworthy.
Okay, so Tennessee, something happened in Tennessee. What is this issue?
So Tennessee passed a bill, and I'm going to probably murder the language here, but basically the bill says that teachers aren't allowed to use the term gay or teach anything that like alludes to homosexual civil rights in the classroom.
Okay.
There's like there's a whole bunch of stuff in the South, which is great fodder for us. Like Texas passed a bill that you have to have an ultrasound before you get an abortion. There's a 72-hour waiting period now. Like there's a bunch of stuff. There's just a real attack on civil rights for women and gays in the South, and you know, that's the stuff that we like to talk about. It's as soon as someone takes that story, like the Tennessee story, and as soon as someone on Fox News starts giving their opinion about it, or you know, putting their spin on it, or even sometimes CNN, like MSNBC, all of the news networks do it.
Yeah.
They do it in some way. They'll say something that's very loaded, or you know, as soon as it steps out of just being news, then we kind of step in and collect it all, and we can show patterns like, oh, this is how Fox News is covering this gay Tennessee issue. Oh, you know, a good example. So J. Crew catalog had a photo of a woman with her son, and she was painting her son's toenails pink, and there was a little blurb in that says, "I love that my son can." Something like, "I love that my son loves the color pink." That was it. That was the end of it. And Fox News like went crazy on it. Like, this isn't right. They weren't outright saying that he was going to turn out gay, but like alluding to how it's messing with this kid's sexual orientation.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because a couple of bloggers, they kind of like beat us to the story, but they were saying, oh, well, but no one would care if it was a girl playing with a truck.
Right.
Like that, it's just showing how the news takes that stuff and just really, it's not news, it's opinion.
Well, what's kind of funny is that
that was a long answer. That was a long answer. To
no,
that.
but it's right. What's kind of funny is that you almost need an extra news anchor who actually dissects it, and that's what you're doing.
Well, I think here's what I think would solve it. If you're delivering the news, you get to wear a suit. If you're not delivering the news, you got to wear a casual T-shirt or like a sweater vest or anything that indicates that you're not.
That's great.
When you see somebody in a suit, I think it's very common for people to think, oh, this is a person in a position of authority.
Yes. This person must know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I don't know, if Megyn Kelly was wearing a sundress on her show on Fox, maybe people would be like, oh, well, it's her opinion because she's got on a sundress.
She's got a sundress on, and she should not be doing the news with a pitcher of lemonade.
No,
I don't think that's right.
But I enjoy hearing her side of things.
It's her side. Yeah, and that's what it should be. They should be a little title that says this is parenthetical. This is their side of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, the movie network had, I don't know if it was more than 30th anniversary. I think a 30th anniversary, and it was like when that movie came out, TV was people reading the news.
Yeah.
There was no opinion about it. You were reading the news.
There were op-eds, but it was clearly labeled.
But this is now an op-ed.
Yeah.
You're not like Walter Cronkite read the news. That was the news, and then they had to make money. News divisions. And as soon as they had to make money, that's when they had to turn into entertainment.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
And now there's cable networks competing against each other to be the most entertaining vessel to give you data.
You know, to me, I really would rather see somebody in a lawn chair who was just being human. I'm fascinated by somebody being a human being. I think that's the most powerful statement that you can make today. If you see evidence of a human being on television, and I mean somebody who doesn't look prepped and ready and like they don't have feelings, and it's like now news is something different, but I still would like I would like to see somebody read like a horrible story and then go on to the next story, but it's like, yeah, that's not good. What just happened is genocide. Do you have a feeling about that?
I mean, I'm really mixed about how blurry the line is between news and opinion. I would like to see people who handle opinions in a less black and white way. Like, I think there's way too many uber liberal people giving their opinion and
right
way
and
too
wrong.
many. Yeah, there's a lot of like. It just seems like fighting to me.
Yeah.
I wish there was just like an understanding grandma or someone being like, well, that's a shame, or here's why this isn't right, or there's a type of person in the South who is like I call them like cowboy philosophers, and they're very like, and I've been lucky to know a couple old guys and old ladies that fall into this category, but it's like basically like people who have lived life, who have a really complicated grasp of how things work and are able to explain it in layman's terms and not in like, complicated ideological language or anything like that. And I would like to see that. I would like to see like a cowboy poet or someone who's salt of the earth.
Sure.
Doing like logical, feeling human, well, exactly what you're saying. Like I'm coming at it from a human perspective and not from a detached, like, this is my opinion, I don't have any experience with this stuff.
I would give that at least as much viewing time as I would Cupcake Wars. Because to me, what does that say? Cupcake Wars. They couldn't sell the show if they said Cupcake Battle. It's Cupcake Wars.
There's so many cupcake shows.
I know. There's a cupcake channel. There's just a cake channel now.
Yeah.
It's just cakes revolving.
Cake Boss. Cake Boss. I can't watch those shows because.
Whose cake is it anyway? I don't understand these shows.
Anyway?
I don't understand these shows. You have an improv background, acting background.
Yep.
And then you start to do stand-up?
Yeah, I'm doing stand-up now. I did stand-up once when I was doing improv, and I don't know. Being in improv is so fun because you have people there. If you like bomb, then this person comes in and saves you and makes it better, and you just don't have that with stand-up. But doing this show has made me feel more confident about just how I feel and how I present things. So it's made it feel more like more positive rather than like, oh, I have to do this or people won't know that I'm funny by myself.
Yeah, it is. And when you go out and do stand-up, what style, is it a style that's similar to what you do on Infomania, or is it a different style?
No, it's absolutely nothing like it. I mean, I like to play really stupid people.
Uh-huh.
So I like to start my stand-up sets with a person who will clearly fail.
Right.
And then try to get into real jokes, but my jokes are like about like how kids are jerks in LA, and like it's not like I don't really come from a feminist perspective. Like I don't outright talk about like abortions and stuff like that, but I think I paint like a level of like modern liberal progressive woman in my set. Like I do, like I don't talk about things in a way that's like a typical.
So what you do there is like what you're saying, the process is, how can I present this? It's, I'm going to write material, but how am I presenting it? What you did in the Walmart piece, that's like a classic example, because things are going to, Walmart will be, certain things will have to happen when women will be treated equally. Credit card pants.
Yeah.
And that's just a great, I mean, that stuff is fantastic.
Well, I just like, if I can just put jokes, I mean, it's dumb. Like, cars that run on ice cream, that's stupid. But, like, to believe that that's, like, what has to happen before women are treated equally, like, that's funny to me.
Fantastic.
And also, like, these pieces are really meaningful to me, and I feel very connected to them, but I don't want that to be everything that I am, because it's the same reason I had to stop watching Amy Goodman. God bless her. She does a great news show, but, like, it gets really depressing, and you have to, in order to do comedy, there has to be a lightness to it on some level. I mean, it can come from a dark place, but it's the same thing we're saying. Like, it can't be angry. It can't be like.
Yeah, then it's not the audience can't grab onto it.
Yeah.
Because it's your own comedic influences, like growing up in your house. You grew up in Houston?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're growing up in a house, and your dad, you were telling me, was a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, my dad's a Vietnam vet. My mom's Irish Catholic.
Wow.
So they both have really, really dark senses of humor.
So what's going on in the house? Like, take us into that house. What's being played in that house? What kind of comedy are you hearing?
Oh, Ghostbusters.
Right.
I mean, I still watch Ghostbusters like once every 6 months. Now it's on Netflix streaming, which is a bad. Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2, Beetlejuice, Soap Dish, like
Soap Dish, nice.
All my. I love farce. I like my we used to watch Masterpiece Theater when we were growing up.
Oh wow.
And Three Stooges and Monty Python.
Oh yeah.
And my parents let me watch SNL. I was watching SNL when I was like 3 or 4.
Wow.
Probably isn't the best parenting, but it definitely colored me in the way that I understand comedy.
Well, it's great. Yeah, it's great. It gets in. It does get in. I mean,
the Muppets. The Muppets are great. That's great jokes in there. Silly.
Great for everybody.
Yeah.
Great for everybody. You know, I just watched the movie Tangled with my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
To me, she's got a frying pan, and that's her weapon. That saves her from all the evil. That is so brilliant. That is so brilliant on so many levels that I can't even believe. Like the guy who came up with the frying pan, this is going to be her thing now, and she's going to be empowered, but she's also going to have the frying. Was amazing to me.
Well, I think some of my favorite comedies of the past 5 years have been kids' movies. I mean, Up, it was funny and super touching, and I mean, it was a perfect movie as far as I'm concerned.
Ironic that like the most real, some of the most real stuff is like you're watching a puppet. You're watching an animated figure, and like 5 minutes in, you completely forget that they're animated.
you have to make sure your jokes are good, because you can't rely on cursing or talking about butts or dirty stuff.
Sure. And so now does the improv help does it help you just in general in your life being so good at improv? Because improvising is agreeing, right? It's going on and moving forward.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I've really noticed is when I work with somebody who doesn't have an improv background, I can tell instantly, because when you learn how to do improv, your instinct is they teach you yes and, which is someone makes a move and then you agree with it and then you add to it and make it better. So a lot of the people on our cast come from an improv background, so someone will have an idea, and instead of someone saying no,
Right.
everyone says yes, and then we try to make that idea fantastic.
Right. And tell me something, because I did improv. I've done improv, but I'm very, very bad at space work.
I'm awful at space
So
work.
if I'm talking to you and we're in a scene, I'm ironing.
Yeah.
I'm ironing really low.
You're even worse than me, because
But look
I
at that.
know
Look at
that
my
you.
thumb.
There's
no iron there.
There's no iron.
No.
How do you talk on the phone?
Watch this. I pick up my iron and I put it to my head because I don't remember that it's an iron.
And you walk through tables.
I do
Yep.
constantly, and then I justify it verbally.
Yeah.
That's how I save myself. But I'm not doing a scene.
The table's in two parts.
It's in two
Yeah.
parts. I'm a magician, and I just came from Florida. And it doesn't even matter what the third thing is, as long as you finish with the third,
Yeah.
like what Don Rickles does. We don't know what those things mean, but we know that it goes like this, and then there's that, and then that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
We know that. So
The cadence, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cadence.
Space work is hard, though. It's a hard thing. When you see someone do it masterfully, when I do, I'm like, well, that I will never be able to do that.
Well, you cannot be in your head and do space work. You cannot be thinking that you have no iron. Of course, I'm anemic.
Yeah.
But that's my problem. No, but I mean, so now, and you studied at the Improv Olympic, Second City,
Right.
and UCB.
Yes.
Now, are they like cupcake wars? Are they competing?
There's weird rivalries, but it's BS. It's like not real. It's Groundlings, UCB, all those comedy theaters. Like everyone's has run away from their families, and so they have to make these collective groups and stick together, and that makes it weirdly competitive. But there's a lot of people who do crossover and do a lot of I know people who do all three who perform at Groundlings, UCB, and IO. I don't know how they do it. I don't know when they sleep, but
is there a different philosophy? Like, is it difficult because like everybody has their classes? There's a certain thing that you do over here, and maybe it's similar, but it's our thing over here. Is there a style? And is improv a place where women are treated on a level playing field?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, to answer your first question, I think that Groundlings is very focused on character.
Yeah.
So you're the weird person in the scene, or there's something weird going on, and you're doing that, and then IO feels more theater based, and it's more based in realism, and like the funny thing is the situation that you're putting together.
Sure.
And then UCB, I think, does a good job of combining both of those aesthetics. And the people who started UCB came from IO, so they took what they liked out of that, and then kind of it's more alternative. It's like definitely a little darker and a lot more experimental.
Well, I gotta ask you, what is the worst? Do you remember a time when you were on stage that this was like the worst experience that you've had on stage? Like you panicked, you didn't know what you were going to do.
Yes.
And you survived it.
Oh, I have millions of those. The thing with improv is that it's bad more than it's good.
Yeah.
So you're constantly having bad shows, but then you have a great show and it's magical, and then it's just reinforcement of why you keep doing it.
Do you remember your first time? Do you remember your first time performing on a stage? Do you remember anything about that? Or your first time doing stand-up, maybe?
The first time I did stand-up was at the Improv here.
Yeah, that's
as
tough.
part of I took a class, and that was like it was very like procedural.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't bomb, but I didn't like what I did. I told a story and it wasn't good, and I was kind of arrogant about it. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. But now what it taught me was, like, there is just way more work than just getting up and being funny, which is what improv is about. You just have your natural abilities and do it that way, but you can't do that with stand-up.
You know, there's a fly in here, and I'm going to pretend that I'm actually ironing.
You had to call it out because you didn't want people to think that because it's impossible to see.
Watch. Oh, my God, Ed is mentally ill. He's waving as if he's in Cuckoo's Nest, and he's continuing to pretend like he's... all right, well, now, I got to ask you these questions. We do something here called Fast Five.
Yes.
And I call it like it's Fast Five, like somebody made it up in a lab, like it's a unique thing. But we ask 5 questions, and you have 60 seconds to answer them. But the questions are not, they're not right and wrong. They don't have actual pinnable answers. They're just
Great.
questions.
I'm ready.
Okay. Put 60 seconds on the imaginary clock. Here it is. Let me iron. Okay. Fast 5. Here we go. Favorite type of shoe?
Boots, specifically these.
Perfect. Those are great. Funniest historical figure?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay. We're going to come back to that. And I agree with you. A song you would be ashamed to admit that you like?
Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul.
Bingo. Most outrageous news story you've covered?
Oh, I'm currently doing a thing on Berlusconi.
Oh, the Prime Minister.
Of Italy, yeah.
With the hookers. Okay. And who killed JFK?
The Japanese.
Perfect. That actually is true. Let's go back to Lyndon Johnson.
That
Congratulations!
is true. Did I do it?
She won it. She won. What do we have for her? We have something later. I don't know what I have. Something from Cupcake Wars. Now, let me ask you about Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah.
There's something that's going around on the
Okay. So the reason I think LBJ, it's not because of Vietnam or any of his politics. There's an audio tape of him talking to a tailor about some pants that he wanted to have made, and so he's giving them very specific instructions, like, I need the pockets to be an inch longer because my knife and my money keep falling out. I need the waist to be 2 inches bigger because I fluctuate 9 to 14 pounds every month, like that. I mean, just insane, like body issues with him. and the thing that he says, he goes, and I need this is not quotes, but you could go online and listen to it yourself, which is going to do it way more justice than what I am. But he says, I need the crotch to be lower. You know where your nuts hang. It feels like I'm sitting on a razor wire fence.
He was a painter of pictures.
I mean, just like that was our president.
Yeah, most powerful man in the free world.
The way he says, you know where the nuts hang. It's just casual and like it's not a big deal. And like, of course I'm talking about my nuts. I'm the president and I'm talking to a tailor.
It's very, very. Everyone does it. I'm not the only one.
But you know what? He did a lot for the social movement and he did a lot for common people in the United States. So I don't want to make him into a clown, because he certainly did great things.
Was not a clown, but had a particular penchant for his balls. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. He didn't apologize. I'm not apologizing.
Ed, fill me in. If the seam in your crotch is too high, I don't have balls, so I don't have this issue.
Well, I'm gonna do a separate show on the issue because I take issue with it. Now, you got to check out, before we do this next thing, you got to check out, go and look at Dan Rather Trench Coat. Do you know about this?
Nope.
Okay, Dan Rather did a video where they were taping him as he was getting ready to do a news report. And it is a half hour of Dan Rather asking his producer if the trench coat collar should go up or it should go down.
Love it.
And he keeps going back to it. He said, the issue here really is the collar.
Oh.
And it goes on for a half hour.
I can't wait to watch that.
Dan Rather Trench Coat, Dan Rather Trench Coat.
Doing it.
All right, now we're going to, I've got a couple videos I want to show you from the Ed Krasnick Crisis Center Museum and Gift Shop in Canoga Park. One of them is, I've hosted stuff for a while, and I used to just go on the street. I had a lot less fear, and I would just go and talk to people. And so this first one is just a little mini clip of some people I talked to in New York. And then the next clip that you're going to see after that is an example of two of my favorite people, Alie Ward and Georgia Hardstark. Drinks with Alie and Georgia. It's one of their videos that they do. Comedic drink mixologists. So 2 videos, and then we're going to be joined by Alie and Georgia. You're on a desert island. You cannot get off the island.
Can't move.
All right? You get to take one song with you.
One song.
One
song.
You can play it, you can sing to it, it's one song. What are you going to take?
One song.
One song.
That I can
Listen to, you can sing, but only
all
one.
day long.
All day long.
Rocky Mountain High.
Okay, let's do it. All right?
You gonna do it?
Yeah, let's hear it. You talking about the John Denver song?
Yes, that's all.
She was born in
No, I don't know. I know you want me to sing. No, you got the wrong man. Right.
Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Hey, I have 3 words to say to you.
Tell me.
Rocky Mountain High.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm Georgia Hardstark.
And I'm Alie Ward, and we are big fans of New Year's.
It's a chance to celebrate the onward march of life with your dearest friends.
And it's also a chance to make out with someone that you just met when the clock strikes midnight.
While it's traditional to hoist flutes of champagne on this special evening, we've given tradition a kick in the old lang syne and thought up something new and exciting.
And ham garnished.
Here's a cocktail that delivers all the excitement and bubbly with just enough nosh to keep you going.
Raise a toast to our Prosecco Prosciutto Melon Baller.
So now, there's nothing wrong with your set, and I say set because I was born in 1959, and all of my references are from 1963, which for me was when the Earth ended. We're joined now by our favorites, Georgia Hardstark and Alie Ward. Alie and Georgia, it's so nice to see you guys.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You are so well dressed, always.
You.
I am an unemployed jacket salesman. How do you choose? How do you say I'm going to wear this and not that?
Oh, actually, we could read you the text messages that we sent back and forth.
Yeah, what are you wearing? Don't wear that, because then I have to wear that.
Yeah.
If you wear that, if you wear something unstructured, then I have to.
Yeah, double up on the Spanx and.
No.
We have to
It's
see. We have to get
ugly.
all that. We have to film that. That's very important to
It gets
that
ugly.
It's
process.
enthralling.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to talk about female empowerment, just transcribe us talking about
What we're gonna wear, right?
What is this? I know how this came about, like what you do, but is it therapeutic for you?
What, the drinking?
Yeah,
Sure.
is
Yes,
it-
because
the
we got to
drinking's
quit our
therapeutic.
day jobs, so that was a big weight off our backs.
Yeah, no, there's something therapeutic about telling your boss that they can take the job that you have been slaving at, and they can shove the job that you.
Did you actually do that?
No, I did that once at a fruit stand, though. That's how I quit. I was working at a fruit stand in college, and my roommate was on the couch eating a Hot Pocket in his underpants, and I was off to go work for $4 an hour, and he was like, and I was like, dude, Ben, get a job, and he was like, go spray some lettuce, and I was like, you have a point. That is what I'm going to go do. So I was working at a fruit stand, I was spraying lettuce that day, and I was like, no, this job is terrible. So I told them that I actually was like, I'm never going to be able to burn a bridge. With this, I'm never going to be able to ignite such an insignificant bridge. So I told them to take the job and shove it.
Oh, that's what you actually said. Take the
I
job and
actually
shove
was
it.
able to say it because I'm like, I'm not
That's a
not
little
using.
mean.
It was awesome.
That's
it was so
fantastic.
great.
It's like a movie.
Like dropped the lettuce gun,
I-
the lettuce hose, and was like,
I'm out.
I'm still on the guy who's eating a Hot Pocket in his underwear.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, but
I think he makes a lot of money now.
He probably does.
Yeah.
I had a guy in college who was my roommate who had 6 pairs of underwear, all with the words "Home of the Whopper" written on the crotch. It was a different time.
Wow.
Do you still have his contact info?
Yeah,
No.
I want his number.
There's never a good time for those underwear.
It was a different time.
Wait, you only had 6 pairs?
Yeah.
So what did you do on the 7th day?
I don't
Like
even
Big Mac
wanna think
attack or
about
what?
I don't even want to think about it. I've always wanted to ask you this. You kind of straddle 2 communities: the comedy community and the food community.
Like LBJ's pants.
Yeah.
It's like a razor
Comes
fence.
to a
razor wire.
Razor wire.
That really, they're 2 really different
Yeah.
kinds of communities.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen male comedians? They like to eat, man.
No, I know they like to eat, but it's like I'm
It's
talking
weird.
about foodie, like food,
Yeah.
like people who watch the food, and you don't have to be a foodie to watch the Food Network, but still,
Our Twitter
that's-
feed is so
That's a
weird.
very specific kind of world, and then
Totally.
the comedy world is another thing.
Yeah.
So how do you live in both of those worlds?
It's actually funny. I think the comedy world, to be totally honest, is much more open and accepting and nice and collaborative. Like people are much more willing to help you out. But the foodie world is competitive because anyone can eat. Like we're pre-programmed to ingest items.
And also-
but not everyone can write or make jokes. So
This whole thing kind of came out of our friends in the little comedy world and how amazing, like the amazing things they do, like Erin, for example, and we were like, well, let's do that too. So it came from that, and the foodie world, we just happened to do this cocktail thing, and the foodie world kind of came out of that.
Yeah.
So we're more used to this little crowd of funny people that are,
But I think that's what's so great, and that's why we're in black and white, because because I think of wit And then I think that wit was something like Nichols and May and people in the early 60s, that's what you had to be. Like, you couldn't be anything else and be on TV. If you were a TV personality, you had to have a little wit. And that's what you guys have. And it's very, no, it's very, very unusual. And it's also unusual when you mix it with cooking or drinks.
Yeah.
It's something that really is a throwback. This is not, and it's great.
Why, thanks a whole
Yeah,
bunch.
we could refer to ourselves as the two fat ladies. Remember that show?
Yeah, do you remember the two fat ladies?
I do.
They were
I do.
hot.
Yeah.
They were smoking hot.
Yeah.
They were gelatinous, hilarious
We're like
women.
them mixed with ab fab, and like there you have it.
I love that stuff. It's a Paula Deen. You know, when she talks with her son, and she's got people there, and there's my son has a dog, and you're like, I know what you're doing, but you're putting Crisco on his chest. Like, that's not good.
She makes his hamburger made out of
It
donuts.
seems like
puts
she is.
lard on a hot dog, like as a topping.
And then just licks it all up. I love that. That's America.
Well, I guess there's a similarity with comedy. You kind of have to check your shame at the door a little bit. Like, I guess there's something that's just like gloves are off, and but I think I don't know. I do think though with the different communities, like Georgia was saying, we have a joint Twitter that we both Twitter from, and the people that we follow are half of them are comedians and half of them are like food people. So sometimes you'll be reading something and it'll be like, had the best day in the park and ate a donut, and you're like, where's like the punchline? And you realize, oh, this is like a food person. And then you read the next one and it's a terrible joke about like orphans, and you're like, that guy. So you have to change your voice when you're reading your Twitter feed.
If you can mix the two, and that's really what you do. That's really what this is.
Well, it's nice too because when we do hang out with our like comedian friends, there's no competition because they're like, I want a show on Comedy Central. I'm like, we want one on Food Network.
Yeah.
And there's no.
I can't wait. I'm telling you, bring some humor. It's not that I don't like the channel. I love the channel. I watch it.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri, that guy came into my office, and I told the company, I said, this guy, you got to hire and do it. And they were like, I don't know. And look at the guy like owns 5 channels now.
He's got some chutzpah.
He does, and he had it from way back. He was always that way. Nothing ever changed.
He holds it in by putting glasses on the back of his head. Over
it's
his,
all contained.
right
It's all
there.
contained by backwards Oakley.
Yeah, turns out that's the secret. Who knew?
But it's funny now. Everybody's got to be a character. It's not enough to have. It's got to be a brand. It's like, oh, I'm the English guy who's sort of butler-like, and I'm the lady who's your next door neighbor. And what would you guys be?
Oy.
I feel like we're the girl who says "oi" would be
the last people at a dinner party. Like, are they gonna go or
Why
not?
is everybody gone?
We're always the last people at dinner party. We're like, oh, you guys are. When did you change into pajamas? Yeah. Like, I guess we'll go.
We're the best friends who.
We were female born, but I feel like there's something very transvestity about us. I feel like every time I get dressed to go to an Alie and Georgia thing, I totally feel like I'm getting a drag. It's always like Alie and Georgia.
Well, we made a joke that it's we ask each other, is this a Pee-wee event or can we go Paul Rubens? Because like we don't know. So I guess it's like the best friends, and like we're really ridiculous around each other, like 10 times more than you see in real life.
Yeah.
In fact, we did a reading the other night where we do this thing with each other called TMI Wednesdays where we text each other. Allie's really happy about it. Where we text each other our most crazy information about ourselves on Wednesdays, and we read them out loud at this event.
We
never happened
them,
again.
And then, we drew them out of a vintage purse with on note cards, and then read them without saying whose was who.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Like, such classified information. Yeah. Such information that should never be uttered. But we are very much like, I feel like we have a sensibility that is not as ladylike. Like, this belies our actual sensibilities, which kind of lets us get away with more. Like, it lets us get away with, like, the Holocaust jokes. And
but on top of that, we're adventurous.
Whenever we're doing
fun.
the Holocaust jokes, that's what helps.
Yeah,
helps.
Well, now, what do you have? What are you making? What did you bring with you? There's always and it's always got kind of a loose theme.
Yes. Okay. So this one we were naming outside, and I don't know. It's like a 4-month-old infant that has no name, but it's
I call it the dirty hippie.
I don't think that's accurate. It's
you guys want to? You can help with the name if you want.
It's a chai. Okay, so I think maybe chai went on. No, it's chai tea.
You already have a chai one
on. That sounds like an
Essie
nail polish color.
I actually
sorry.
would. I would so
That's
wear
not an
that.
insult.
No, I would
No, that's
so wear
insulting.
that
Try
though.
one on.
Little flecks of like a cocoa color.
Yeah.
I would wear that.
Chai a little tenderness?
Try a little.
Try a little tenderness. I was gonna say Coco Loco, but no, I
I
don't
like
think.
Cocoa Loco.
It's okay. So that's coconut rum.
How do you think? Is that good?
Yeah, and leave some room for a little bit of non-dairy coconut cream.
God bless you.
Because we love you, and I think a little bit more than that. I mean, if you can, but I mean, things are gonna happen.
You want to shake this? I'm scared. to
Yeah,
shake this.
gravity's gonna get the better
shake
of
it
us.
over
A
there.
certain way.
Careful.
Let's see how she does it. Oh.
Wow.
Okay. Now somebody starts singing. No, I don't.
I love my baby.
It's probably gonna explode when I open it. So so it's like a chai coconut milk thing. Do you want to try this first, or let's just pretend it's gonna be amazing?
Now,
yeah, it'll be fine.
Now, who, have you made drinks for I mean, you do live events a lot.
Yeah, we didn't before, and then we keep getting asked to, and it ends up being kind of a fun way to meet people. Although we have so many people owe us so much money for like supplies.
Yeah, but we do love doing the live events.
Sorry, you
Isn't it funny? Sorry to change the subject a
No,
little bit, but
please.
like how, because I find more success when I go to like conferences and stuff and like network. I hate to say that,
Oh,
but
it's
like
the
it's
worst.
so true.
but I have a great time, and you realize like when you're the person who's telling the jokes,
Yeah.
people want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, thanks for like making that thing not boring.
Yeah.
You saved their
fun.
lives. The
Yeah.
last thing they wanted to do was see their boss.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
It
Trying to
strokes your
tell
ego a
jokes.
little
Well,
bit
you
when you're like,
forget.
oh, this is fun for you.
When you have access to the internet, I know, right?
Awful.
Fun for
Your
you.
terrible life just got so much better because I'm
You're
here.
welcome.
Wouldn't that be great if you said that? That would be
I'm gonna
fantastic.
start saying it.
That's
I'm
a
gonna go back
terrible,
to your terrible.
your terrible life. And I brought
at
some
your
sunshine
desk
into
job
it. And
with
then
your
I'm going to leave and you'll be left with your terrible, awful life. And look at that face.
No, we
That's a
love.
good
Well, what was it called?
L'chaim.
Try a little tenderness.
Try a little
Try
tenderness,
little
Mr. Otis
tenderness.
Redding, my
So
friends.
fabulous.
All right, Otis.
This is good.
Oh yeah. That's good.
That's delicious and
that's
it's
good.
refreshing.
Wow.
It's just sweet.
It's
Right? A
sweet.
little agave in it too. It's so
Oh,
sweet though.
it's refreshing.
I know.
Really
we got a knack
good.
for this.
I've got spray in my hair.
Ain't
No,
nothing.
I know. Do you have any celebrity-themed drinks, or have you ever?
Oh, we got asked to do a Charlie Sheen one naturally.
God.
What about a Kate Middleton?
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
do that.
I wonder.
Or Duchess of whatever she's going to be
The
called?
the tea drink we do.
Yeah,
at
we could
work.
do a
we could
high
do a biscuits high tea.
We could do a.
This-
People keep asking us to do a medicinal marijuana drink, and a high tea would be fabulous. But I'm not a fan of this stuff because I struggle against like laziness and memory loss anyway. Like just on a day-to-day
So you don't
basis.
need to add.
No, like that's not my steez. But yeah, I don't know.
You
Kate
know,
Middleton.
I mean, this is the thing about your drink. Like one thing about sweet drinks is there's alcohol in it, and you never know how much you've had because it's
Yeah.
sweet. So, is there a designated driver with you too, or is there a
Not Jeffrey, not
designated
it.
person?
Not it.
No, her fiance. It's just
Yeah.
unfortunately we make
He's
him.
he carries everything.
Right.
Yeah, he's like
And
our-
he's the designated driver.
And you two can go. I mean, you can be.
We go play.
Well, you know what though, to be honest, when you like a lot of our business meetings are like, let's go out for drinks.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the best life ever, but when you're like, oh, it's Wednesday and I have a 7 o'clock meeting with our lawyer who wants to go to a new beverage bar, and then I have like drinks with our publicist at 9:30, like. You don't drink as much
Yeah.
as people think you drink.
Yeah. People think you're alcoholic.
You're like,
but we're not.
Yeah, we're not going to drink. If we did, though, we would be.
It would
Right.
be
half in the
trouble.
bag.
Right.
Like when I worked at a sushi restaurant, it was awesome for the first couple months, and then I was like, I don't want to see a hand roll again. Like I'm good, I'm fine.
Well,
Like,
you know that pretty soon, like you're gonna, like people are gonna see you on the street, and they're gonna be, "Hey, coconut blurry car, hey, hey, buddy."
McNugatini yelled at us a couple times.
yeah, I mean we
Okay.
like it, but it's just not as like daily as you would. It's
Right.
I bet it would be
we'll
not
get there.
here.
What do you mean?
Not in LA.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. Like, I feel like everyone here is like too cool to give you compliments.
Yeah.
Not you guys, but I mean people in general.
Yeah, or to call it, be like, I know who you are and I'm excited about it.
I don't know. Georgia
Yeah.
was you got recognized on the subway. That's weird.
In New York, yeah.
I don't know.
That's true.
I went to my manager's office the other day, and he said, "Who are you?"
My
Which I
mom
like.
said that to me the other day.
Did she ask you who I was?
Who is Zach Krasnick?
Yeah.
Why does he keep calling?
I'm in the Actors Witness Protection Program. Let's keep it quiet. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for being here.
Fantastic.
Let's
Thanks
have
for
a
letting us
let's
sit
have a
in.
toast. I don't know what we should toast, but I think we should toast to happiness and peace and making that kind of interesting.
Sure.
Pestilence.
It's a Japanese
war.
killing JFK.
Yeah, JFK. Man.
No,
Who
we're
killed
toasting
him?
we're toasting to an assassination. Really?
I couldn't decide if it was the
He's not
Japs or
dead.
the Jews.
I think
Well,
one of the Japs is better.
They both have a hard
He's
J.
not dead,
Uh,
anyways, really, right?
He's not dead.
No.
He's
Believe
living in a
that.
bunker with Elvis.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh God, let him come back instead of
Because
G.
I feel like they haven't been part of the scandal.
Nostrovia.
brought-
We're gonna keep talking if you want to go
You guys
ahead.
keep talking. Go watch Dan Rather Trench Coat. Just type that up on your Google and then watch the video. It will kill you. I swear to God. Next week we're going to have Laura Silverman. And the week after that, we have Todd Glass, and then we have the comedians at Chelsea Lately, and then I'm going to lay down in a field of white daisies. No, that's going to be it, pretty much. I'm Ed Krasnick. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Thanks to Erica and Ian and Ben and Matt. We'll see you next time.